Hawa, Hawa, Shabbatah. Much hop to the family, much hop to the tribe. Today we're going to go ahead and get back on code. Today what I'm going to try to do is cover the Dragon 9 code or Dragon 9 magic, as it were. Get back on Dragon codes. Picking up from where we last left off. Dragon codes, or getting back on code, really goes back into your Dragon 9. And on the feminine side, we realize that Dragon code comes with meaning 5 words. And then on the masculine side, we learned on prior drop that there was 5 questions. Right and left hand, framer and shaper. Now, over the centuries, your dragon magic, your Dragon 9, has been plagiarized and bastardized, and multiple systems, either been put in or onto your Dragon 9 code to harness or crystallize that magic. This is why the Dragon 9 is everywhere. And as always, the greatest enemy of the Dragon 9 is thought, the 3 times great. His various disciples are dragon slayers. And what we're going to do is we're going to dig into some of Brother King's drop and really expand upon this Dragon code, or getting back on code. Speaking of Brother King, speaking of the Shabbatah, 432thedrop.com. Show that a hob for the family, a hob for the tribe. Make sure that you guys are digging on it, checking in on some live action. Go ahead and hop in the chat room, which is a class in and of itself. Be a Dragon sponsor on the wall. Go ahead and dig into some of those books being dropped on you. Check out the 5 sweeps, as it were. Dig on your type of vibration and music. Check out the different drops coming at you. Right now we in battle time with Thai poetry. Y'all wanna get it real quick? Let me see. Let's do that real quick. Let's see.
And the Aramis, meaning quote first androgynes unquote,
there go.
Quote, first serpents unquote. The Aramis and the Amarus. The Aramis and the Amarus. So the Amarus is the first androgynes and the Amarus is the first serpent, I guess that's what they're saying. As the quote Meropes unquote and the quote Merus unquote, the Cyclopeans are remembered in Polynesian mythology as gods with golden skin who came long ago in flying machines and built pyramids throughout the Pacific. The Andean legend of
All right. Get in that classroom.
associates
Nope.
the cyclic
Not gonna let y'all just come over here. Nope. Tune in to 432thedrop.com. Get that battle time. Check out the schedules. Come enjoy. Come relax with the Shabbatah. You know what I mean? While I'm over here, show some, get that hob in. Alright. Yeah, show some hob, show some love. Alright. Alright, so let's get back into it. Okay? Because we do got a lot to cover, and I want to make sure we cover as much of the bases as we possibly can. Alright? So we were talking about getting back on code. Okay? Now I want you to pay attention that code means cipher, right? system of signals and rules which govern their use. Okay? We're digging on coda. How it's the tail of an animal.
Wow.
Hawa. Right? Then we goes digging on coward. How the identification of coward and bully has gone so far in popular consciousness that persons and acts in which no traces of fear is to be found are often called cowardly, merely because advantage has been taken of superior strength or position. It means that it is Hawa is not going to be given to you, it has to be taken, right? And then head over to the Q, where again, which is a band attached to a letter with seals dangling on the free end. You know, and this is when we were digging on the tizit, okay, which means tail, right, or penis. To get back on code is to know your bloodline, right? To know what's a dragon, right? A dragon, a fierce, violent person, right, male or female, as this man or woman is a dragon. But a dragon is also what? A genus of animal, right? Draco, right? So what I want to do here is go back as we were getting into the Lee, getting into the meaning as far as the phoenix, the female dragon. Okay, we're getting into the meaning and then into the Lee, right? Discussing how what this Lee actually means, right? And how it has pretty much everything equated to what? Natural law. The symbol resembles the symbol for the house of Levi. Now, the reason why we're bringing this all back up, because again, this goes back into your Nehemiah. And as you read Nehemiah chapter 4, you realize that they were what? Building an army, building a wall. But it came to pass that when Sanballat heard that we built the wall, he was what? Wroth, and took great indignation and what? Mocked the Jews, right? Mocked the Hebrews. And he spake before his brother and the army of Samaria, and said, what, these feeble Jews? Will they fortify themselves? Will they sacrifice? Will they make an end in a day? Will they revive the stones out of the heaps of the rubbish which are burned? Now Tobiah the Ammonite was by him, and he said, even that which they build, if a fox go up, he shall even break down their stone walls. Hear, O our Hawa, hear, O our Pawa, for we are despised, and turn their reproach upon their own head, and give them for a prey in the land of captivity, and cover not their iniquity, and let not their sins be blotted out from before thee, for they have provoked thee to anger before the builders. Solomon the builder, right? Now, so built we the wall, and all the wall was joined together unto half thereof, for the people had mind to work. But it came to pass when Sanballat and Tobiah and the Arabians and the Ammonites and the Ashdodites heard that the walls of Jerusalem were made up, and that the breaches began to be stopped. And they were what? Very wroth. Go back. Coward. The identification of a coward and bully has gone so far into popular consciousness that persons and acts in which no traces of fear to be found are often called cowardly, merely because advantage has been taken of superior strength and position. Alright? Alright. verse 8. And conspired all of them together. What is that? It's Psalms 83, right? Conspired all of them together to come and fight against Jerusalem and to hinder it. Nevertheless, we made our prayers unto our power and set a watch against them day and night because of them. And Judah said, the strength of the bearers of burden is decayed, and there is much rubbish, so that we are not able to build the wall. And our adversary said, they shall not know, neither see, till we come in the midst among them, and slay them, and cause their work to cease. Now, you know what this reminds me of? Doesn't that remind you of Oklahoma City? Right? But we got to build that wall again. And it came to pass, when the Jews which dwelt by them came, they said unto us 10 times, from all the places whence ye shall return unto us, they will be upon you. Therefore I in the lower places behind the wall, in the higher places, and even set the people after their families, with their swords, their spears, and their bows. And I looked, and rose up, and said unto the nobles, to the rulers, and to the rest of the people, be ye not afraid of them. Remember Hawa, which is great and terrible, and fight for your brethren, your sons, and your daughters, your wives, and your houses. All right. Now, with that being said, we'll let Brother King take the wheel, and let's dig on it.
Anytime the vertical bid on the left crosses the distance scripture councils of great cities together with 700 soldiers, 800 men. Hey, this ain't in your history book, right? You are born over the sea to cut lay loose. You got time and time again.
Bring it back.
At the last of the profile, the heads with the words written, Abiah, Jacob. You got Roman, Hatim, Theodore, Rus. On the right is another head profile with God, Sid, Sinai, and Israel. Anytime the vertical bleed, one of the left crosses in this inscription, councils of great cities together with 700 soldiers, 800 men.
All right, now stop right there. Okay, so when we have, thanks to the work of Anatoly Fomenko, we learned that there's phantoms and duplicates, but because everything follows this Dragon 9 pattern, this flower of life, we realize and we understand that there's the singularity of the number 9. There's a golden ratio. There's sacred geometry, even in information. That numbers are not invented; they're discovered. Well, you know, we've learned that when we're reading these history books, the way that they actually write the date matters. So, for example, as we got in the prior drop, what they like to do is they would put, instead of writing AD 800, they would write I 800 to replace the AD. Okay? That would get translated into 1800 versus AD 800. Okay? This is how they quote unquote added 1,000 years. And when you dig on it, one of the things that, culturally speaking, they like to do in the past to prove legitimacy is by showing their, the length of their histories and bloodlines. So that's why you got to go back to the Barbary Treaty, where we know that 1786 is the equivalent to the year 1200. And it's just one of the many variations, one of the many spells, as it were. Okay, so Let's pay attention to that.
Hey, this ain't in your history book, right? We are born over the sea to Kalelus. We got time and time again in the same document. Kalelus means promised land. It's an unknown land told Texas, so they would rule far and wide over her people. Told Texas, so they would just copy. Soleiman, let's get it. Theodore transferred his troops to the foot of the city Roda, and more than 700 men were captured. Again, this is Israel on Israel going down. David on David going down. No gold is taken away. Theodore, a man of great courage, ruled for 14 years. Jacob rules for 6. With the help of courage, nothing has to be feared. In the name of Israel. This is going on in Arizona at 800. This is matching up with, different areas in Scripture. The kingdom of David was divided, the kingdom of Solomon was divided. Was fathers. The second cross says Jacob removed the city, and that's what we got from now. So, it's real interesting when we start to get down again. In the article it tells that Kalelus means promised land. And one says on Cali, which is the land of America. So America's body now is promised land. We just talked about the real thing. We talked 700 AD, 800 AD. The Kalelus record speaks of Theodorus as a leader of many people to lead the Roman national Kalelus in 775. Theodorus is none other than the Jewish or Hebrew king of Septimania. 7 and 7 cities of gold. Let it be. I am Roman Jewish, state and son of France. He is the son of the first Jewish king of Septimania, also called Theodorus, Theory, Mary, and Morbo, Makir. We're going to get into the Makir. This Makir is the same thing as Mary. Makir is Mary. Same type of, translation, same name.
All right. Now, Makir, right? Now, notice what happens here. Now, according to the code, right? Now it's saying the year is what? 775 AD. So this is going down by one duplication, one shadow and duplicate, 1775. Okay? But when you tell the story a certain way, all of a sudden you're putting this is all going down in 775. This is where things get a little confusing, as it were. Phantom is in duplicates, right? Change the name, but names are simply titles. Okay. Now we're going. Why is that important? Because he's talking about the mark. So let's dig on it. Let's go back. Let's get out the Picto-Paleo. Now, can y'all see that? Okay. Let's see here. No, I can't see the bottom of it. I want to zoom out. One more. Hope y'all can see that. One more. Okay, so let's get into it. Now, talking about code. Now we're talking about code being what? The cross, right? The tau. You got the plus, and then you got the X, right? The tau, cross sticks. The mark, or the sign, the signal, right? The monument. Okay? Now, when you have a dragonfly perspective, you have to understand that we've been taught to square the circle. but we need to go back to circling the square. Now, what happens when you put a circle around the square or the tile, the cross? It gives you to what? The tet, right? Or the surround, contain, mud, tet, right? The T sound, but there's nothing in the Latin, right? Nothing in the Latin. Okay? Now, if you notice that according to the Picto-Paleo, notice how this X, this tau is marked. Okay? But the X on the hijack goes straight up and down in the cross. The order of the garter, right? The hijack. Now, let's go back to this here. And we're going to belly flop to about the 21 mark. Let's pick it up.
Big Chris. Charlemagne said they have been called.
Bring it back a little bit.
Father Marquis Theodoric in 765. Nehemiah Theodoric becomes Western Echelon.
Wait a minute, what? Who? Bring it back.
Let's see what the drop is when we talk. Marquis Theodoric. It's might be a bit hard to see. We're talking about the house of David. Marquis Theodoric Ben Judah. Alright, let's go back. Marquis, Amerique. We say, on the death of his father, Marquis Theodoric in 765, Nehemiah Theodoric becomes Western Echelon.
Stop right there. Bring it back. What was going down? Bring it back. Nehemiah, chapter 4. They were building a wall of protection. They were protecting their houses. Right? Bring it back. Now, if we do the phantoms and duplicates the way they like to do it, so they are saying that this is when? 765 AD. Now, again, we bring up the notations and times in history. Much high to Brother Hiram in that regard for giving us the dope spill on this. Bring it back up. When you get to this first loop, right? Scholarship Declaration, 734, right? You got, this Anon Ben David popping up, right? And then, but when you get to the 17, come on down. 1776 is the same as 1190. 1775, Third Crusade begins. And Brother King just dropped in his other drop, the latest drop, what was it? Dragon Canoe. 1775 is when they went to war. And what is that happens in 1775? The Third Crusade begins here in the United States. When you fix the timeline. But it's the same story that happens in what? 1189. Right? Let's get it back. But we're talking about Nehemiah. He's an exilarch. When did the age of the exilarchs end? Alright? But let's keep going.
We're talking about Marquis, right? It's a great site by Michael Ruor.wordpress. He's digging on the same thing. Charlemagne, one of the assertions about the Jewish roots of Charlemagne, or the Hebrew roots of Charlemagne, from Atho Bloomer, House of David, it is that his mother, Bertha, the sister of Marquis Theodoric Ben Judah Zakai. Judah being the Jewish exile, Judah being the Hebrew king, right? And Davidic prince. Charlemagne is said to have been called by the name David. Charlemagne was called David. Colonimus. As more information is verified, it becomes impossible to prevent releasing it according to the will of, he says, Jehovah, we know. Why? And it, as it may please God, for in no way would be right to hide the Jewish ancestry of God's children.
Stop right there. Okay. Now, we've been surfed a wave, getting back on code. Okay, like the first time. The 9 worthies, right? They include what? 3 pagans, Hector. Let's get it. Alright, now I want to kick in. Alright. Y'all still rocking with me? Hope so. Hope y'all enjoying this part 2 of Back on Code. Alright, 9 worthies. The 9 worthies are 9 historical, scriptural, and legendary personages who personify the ideals of chivalry as were established in the Middle Ages, 1400s, right? And are commonly referred to as princes, right? In their own right, despite whatever true titles or names each man may have held. In French, they are called les neuf preux, meaning 9 valiant, valor, right? Virtue, right? Which terms give slightly more focused idea of the sort of moral or soul virtue, valor, soul glow, right? They were deemed to represent so perfectly that other soldierly courage and generalship. The study of the life of each would thus form a good education for the aspirant to chivalric status. Okay? What is that? Prester John's the last noble image. And one thing that's lacking in the so-called black community is what? We don't have a noble image. We no longer aspire to these chivalric statuses or code. We don't want to get back on code, but as we did the drop and broke it all down, it's not 9 worthies, it's 9's worthy. These 3 stories are all the same stories. Hector, Alexander, Julius, let's go back. Hector, Alexander, Julius, Caesar, the 3 Jews, Joshua, David, Judas Maccabees, and the 3 Christians, King Arthur, Charlemagne, and Godfrey of Bouillon. Okay, it look like a brother, don't it? Okay, so let's keep it moving, right? This was a great video by Brother Kane. Get into this classroom, and we're gonna belly flop right to the 23 mark. Skip forward a little bit.
My kid is American, as it has also of the names Maruk, Mark, or Amerigio.
Get it back, bring it back.
Mary, my kid. So it's the same. His name is Mary, my kid. Mary, alright, my kid. Same thing. My kid, Mary. America. Okay, this land was named after Amerigo Vespucci. Come on, man. This is going back to 775. I married my kid. Say what? What does it say at MichaelRourke.wordpress? My kid has been given as the original name of America. My kid is American, as it has also of the names Maruk, Mark, or Amerigia, Scapi, and the Mercians, man. So Mark or Maruk, Mark, alright, like you got Marcus Baruch Khan, the grandfather of Prester John is Mark X marks the spot. Mark, Makir, America, all the same thing. Man, wow. Again, this is Spark right, his brother right here.
Sure is.
Mark, man.
Ira Mark, show that a hob, show that love. Get into that classroom. Now, notice what he said though. Let's bring it back. King, where is it? Right here. King Hosea is Joshua. So in your scriptures, you have 2 books of Joshua. But because of, going to do your homework on Philo and the Septuagint and all this other type of stuff, and the G and all this, where everything comes and breaks down from, and everything gets locked up and encoded and scrambled with these names and hijacks. But Hosea is Joshua. It's 2 different books and 2 different locations in your scriptures. It's the same. It's about the same person. Now, again, going back to your Picto Paleo, right? The mark or the sign. So let's get it like it's the first time. Check out. Come on, hijack. Alright. Now, we got signal being a adjective, verb, and a noun. We're looking for a person, place, or a thing. So let's go to signal, the noun. Alright? Now, the adjective is what? Remarkable, striking, notable, serving as a sign, 1640s. Right? To distinguish. Signal. See, signal, the noun, right? Different spin on a what? A distinguished gentleman, right? Now, signal. Late 14th century. Visible sign. Indication. From Old French. Signal. Seal. Imprint. Sign. Mark. Go back to our Picto Paleo. That's the cross, right? The tile. Mark, sign, signal. Okay. The mark. Alright. A signal from late Latin, signalis, adjective, used as a signal pertaining to a sign. From late signum, identifying mark, sign. Restricted sentence, agreed upon sign, to commence or desist, etc. From 1590s, meaning modulation of an electric current. Okay? Is from 1855. Okay? Now, why is this important? Well, if you notice, you are the copper-colored people, the copper-colored races found here. And as we dig on code and what have you, we get a lot of these electric references, right? Let's bring it back. Code, meaning cipher, system of signals, and the rules which govern their use. In sense, secret code from 1808. Code name is from 1879 in telegraphy, meaning system of expressing information and instructions in the form of a usable computer. Right? It's always this go back over here to what is it? Q, right? you are the copper colored people on fringes. Now, just to wrap things up, Hiram Mark is breaking down Caesar's Messiah. He's breaking down this Eleazar, right? This Phineas. But when you dig on it, let's get back to our Picto Paleo. When you're talking about Mark, right? I just surfed the wave, but maybe the mark of Cain isn't a what, but a who. You feel me? Because when you look at the Tau, right? Notice how this is going to flow. The Tau, the cross, the mark, the sign leads into what? The Ga, or the rope, or the DNA, right? The twist, the dark, the hidden, or the wicked. Notice how it has a function, it has a sound, but there's no letters in Hebrew, Greek, or Latin, right? And the Ga brings you back to what? The L, back to the Aleph. Okay? This is how the Dragon 9 keeps going over and over and over again in Platonic solids. Now, why is that important? Well, we're talking about rainbow dragons, right? Rainbow dragons? Let's see here. I think I had one more drop. Yeah, rainbow dragons. We're talking about rainbow dragons. Well, what rainbow dragons are we talking about? Well, goes back into your Platonic solids. The Tesseract. Alright? Fire, air, earth, water, ether. Right? Your Platonic solids, your Dragon 9. What? I mean, we brought this up before. We're talking about the circle, getting all the way from the circle to the Metatron's cube, which is the voice. Genesis chapter 3. Voices don't walk. Metatron walks. Okay? This you have to ask yourself, real talk. You have to ask yourself that with there being about 70 billion people on the planet, and out of those 7 billion people, about 6.5 billion people are believers in an Abrahamic religion. But yet, maybe you didn't know this, but yet your history of Moses is still classified as a legend, juxtaposed to Thoth. Now, Thoth says to open your third eye. So let's break this down real quick. You have 2 eyes. And some people, they have calcified pineal gland, so they only have their 2 eyes. The masculine and the feminine eye. They only can see, they most often confuse duality with polarity. Okay? And then you have what? Your third eye. Right? Now, to understand the rainbow dragon is to have your full chakra. My people, if this is an eye, then this is an eye, this is an eye, and so is all of this is an eye. So when you have a dragonfly perspective, is to have all of your chakras, all of your eyes, including your 2, open, which gives you 9. Okay? The Dragon 9. The 9 eyes. Okay? But to be a dragon is what? It's to be an animal. But you're just not any dragon. You're what? You're a copper-colored dragon, right? All right. You're a copper-colored dragon. Some of us are. But when we do our draconologies, right? When we do our homework, we got what? Periodic table of metallic dragons: the gold, the silver, right? The copper, the brass, the bronze. Okay. Now, you may think that cities are gold. We're just making stuff up, but it's all gold. But you gotta get on code. Gotta get on code. Dragon code. Understand dragon magic, yo. Where is it? It's no gold alloy. Y'all see that all right? It's all gold. Now, again, remember, some people out there are Nagas, but they're whitish. Alright, copper red, reddish, yellowish, pale greenish yellow. Cities of gold. Akakor. Alright? So, just to dismount, if I can find it real quick, we gonna end things real quick with I think this is the right outfit. I had this pulled up a long time ago. Might have to bring it up another time. So it was a nice little video. Yeah, I might have to bring it up another time. I wanted to dismount with it. Just kind of popped in my head at the last second. I wanted to share that with y'all. How did I get it before? There it is. Surf the wave. All right, family. Excuse me. I want you guys to understand the American, the copper colored race is found here. Let's get back on code and dismount with this. Vibrate. Choose up. pay attention to what these different type of coppers are used for, and don't think that it don't relate to you, my people. Dracons, dragons on the wall. It's all the same. There's only one truth that's been manipulated and hijacked by thought with his 3 times great, with his 440 frequency. And he's just hijacking the flower of life. He's hijacking you. You are so important for the electric, the current to the flow.